Good morning, everybody. Welcome to DLC Day 3, semifinal Saturday. I'm joined in the booth here with my good buddy here, Pure Nix. How you doing, PK?
Hello, employees. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited for this one. It's we got a couple great matches lined up for us this morning.
It's gonna be fantastic for sure. So kicking this one off today will be Intuition versus Spekio, and then immediately following that match will be ED Feed versus Column W. Again, guys, semifinals. The winners of today's matches go to grand finals. Losers today don't go home. They'll be back again tomorrow then for the bronze match to decide who gets third place. But kicking it off, let's focus our efforts here on Intuition versus Spekio. PK, what's your thoughts on this matchup, and who's your favorite going into this?
Well, intuition had me at ceiling jump, so I can't deny the love for that. That was some great looking techniques that he pulled out. I know intuition's the big speedrunner fan out here, and people know he can go fast. But Specchio's put out a couple really solid round performances, so I think he's got a great shot at giving some intuition something to fight for.
Absolutely, right there you are, my friend. So intuition definitely is the favorite, as you had said. I think we're all kind of looking at that after his record-breaking performance right out of the gate last week. Took him a little bit to get started against his match against Ared, but after that he was off like a shot. We'll see if that confidence carries through today. Maybe it'll take him a little bit to get his footing, but Spekio can pull the upset. I know he's no slouch by any means. He's clearly shown that he has the ability to play extremely well and at a high level. It is going to come down to consistency, proper skipping, proper technique. We'll see. Intuition always has this ability to kind of maintain sprint and this resolve to hold on to it through any means necessary. Maybe Specchio will take a more hesitant and consistent pace, and maybe that may pay off. We'll have to see, guys. It's going to be a fun set.
Yeah, should be good to see what they come out with. As you said, intuition loves that sprint speed. Specchio really does have a fantastic pacing, though. He doesn't seem to slow down, and he definitely managed to navigate a lot of the hazards without dying. Um, until he hits some of those harder blocks like anybody else. But yeah, I think it's going to be a race of consistency versus undeterred speed boots.
I think Spekio was the one that coined this yesterday. Today's first matchup is the top runner versus the top creator. So we'll see which way the wind falls today. But no matter what, I think we're going to end up having a great race to watch, guys. For those that are new, welcome. To those that are returning viewers, welcome back. DLC Delivery League Championship right here. Basically, let's talk about the format quick before we hop into it. We got two people going head to head, and it's going to be a best of three sets during those matches. Then they are given two playlists of 10 levels each of challenge difficulty. That's 3 diamonds of levels found in the tower, and they have to go through them basically blind at that point, and they can choose to skip whatever levels they want. But the main thing is they have 15 minutes to complete as many levels as possible. Whoever completes the most wins that match or wins that set. You take 2 sets out of the 3 because again, best of 3, and you move on. So we'll see what happens here today. Definitely high risk, high reward, and the time is definitely be ticking by very quickly. When you're in there, those 15 minutes go by in the blink of an eye. So you have to keep that pace up as best as you can. And PK, I mean, I believe you helped out in the original DLC, the pre-launch DLC. What was your experience like overall with working with that?
On the pre-launch DLC. Um, yeah, Judge did a lot of setup for that, and you got it really lined up. And then the people who are all competing were all pretty friendly and in on helping make this thing launch up and trying it out. So it was a very um, how do I say it? Very camaraderie kind of going at it. So it was a good. It was a quite an enjoyable experience for that one, and this one is too. Obviously, it was just that one just felt a little bit. Uh, let's see how this goes, excitement kind of thing.
You are, my friend. Very good.
Uh,
Well, should be a good match here today.
yeah, looks like we're just about set up and ready to go, Retro. So let's get this screen up for all of our contestants here.
Also, good to see a bunch of people here in chat. Welcome back, guys. It's going to be a great day. Hang tight and sit back, get yourself comfy. Hopefully, we're going to see some great matches here today for sure.
Bam, there we go. Uh,
And
So
we are
as you
good
guys
to
can see, we're at the space launching station here, and Spekio on the left and Intuition on the right.
looking good here, guys. So basically, the runners are set. They have their playlist good to go. And again, a big shout out and thank you to Adam from Butterscotch Shenanigans for actually putting together the playlist functionality. You can make and share your own playlists, and also basically you can toss those codes out to people. They can bookmark all of them, makes things super easy. And that's how we're doing things here on the back end here at DLC. At this point, the playlists have been verified. They've been given out. So we're just going to basically wait until the runners are set and ready and get ourselves the countdown. And now for some last second banter here, right before we wait for the runners to get ready at this point. This is when the nerves are the worst. They're getting ready up. They're confirming right now at this point, and they have to be thinking, okay, what will the day bring? There's going to be that initial kind of jittering if they're going to go either consistent or start skipping out of the gate. Watch to see how things work after about the first 5 minutes and see if they find a groove and see if you get some early clears, you can get that early confidence. If you have some hard levels to start off with, auto scrollers or puzzles and just skip through, you can't really find your rhythm. So it's going to be all about kind of carrying that momentum through as best as you possibly can.
Yeah, and you talk about those jitters. I know Intuition has often said he's quite nervous about doing these kind of things. Spekio seems to be pretty confident, but I imagine he's got some things to think about heading in.
Absolutely agreed. Okay, guys, hang in there. I think we're going to be going toward our countdown here very shortly. Grab your popcorn, move to the edge of your seat. It should be a good one.
Now, I haven't really been lined up in the player's box on this one before, but do you get pretty oh, looks like we have the countdown starting.
3, 2, 1, and go. The green flag drops. It looks like we're gonna have a fun one today. And yes, it is a bit nerve-wracking right beforehand, but we'll see what we have here. Let's commentate on the action. Package is nearby. And it looks like Spekio opting for an early skip out of the gate. Looks like Spekio on the right, on this side, is actually doing pretty decently with his level, whereas Intuition's kind of working his way through this prize block puzzle as best as he possibly can. Trying to find a way. He's trying to use some super jumps to make his way through. Spekio taking a death, however, but finding his way through checkpoints as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, on this side,
Intuition looks pretty confident with what he's doing there, and he's just got that slip as I say that.
The curse of the commentator very early in the day. We'll try to avoid saying they're doing amazing, but it looks like Into deciding to skip. Maybe the right choice as well. So we're going to go slip sliding away on both sides, and Spekio also skipping. Pretty interesting to kind of see this opposite rhythm that they have. Lots of heavy skips on Spekio's side.
Yeah, he's not afraid to make a decision quick and early on those. I'm not sure if he's looking at the time or he just knows the map.
Could be one way or another, or could be fishing for something that may be a little more applicable for them. This sometimes slippy goo is not exactly palatable when it's prominently featured inside of a level, but we'll see what we got here. It looks like Into working his way through, doing a pretty decent job with the pop medallion there. Spekio on his side taking a death, but also trying to work his way through this kind of straightforward platforming level. Maybe this will work in his favor, but we will see. Into trying to find a way somewhere to work his way through. Unfortunately, taking some deaths here are pretty punishing since the checkpoint is quite a ways away. And Spekio also trying to find a way through his level at this point. So who will be the one to draw first blood is the question. Into has the package, just needs to find the end on his side.
Yeah, it looks like Intuition, once he finds that rhythm there, he really goes and gains lots of ground. But you can definitely see he'll occasionally get stuck on something. He's also got to watch out because he gets really determined to finish something up, even at the detriment of time.
Agreed, and unfortunately taking a very punishing death there. Like I said, the checkpoint is quite a ways away from here. So each death that's going to be eating away time. There is time lost here that's happening. And speaking about time lost, looks like Spekio is working his way through that dense fog, which is a bit of a time gate.
You know, the level that Spekio's on, I hope he knows it, because I actually recall that it's a little obtuse on what you have to do on the section he's on right now.
Spekio has a whole bunch of boxes to look at here. I'm not sure if this is going to sway him in any way. Whereas right now we have Intuition working through, and also Spekio doing a skip. This gauntlet of pop jaws, maybe that will cause him to take the skip, but he just had a recent checkpoint, so we'll see. Right now, there has to be some level of frustration on both sides. Both probably thinking right now, hey, I should have had a clear by now. What's my opponent currently doing? So there's definitely pressure across the board. And Into drawing first blood with the first clear of the day, 1-0 in his favor.
Yeah, you could definitely see the difference in strategies when you jump back to that space map there. Intuition's got very little skips and sticking it out, whereas Spekio has, I think, gone halfway through the first playlist at this point.
I believe he has as well, but at this point, Intu's going to feel at least good to get on the board. He's feeling pretty decent. Spekio has to be feeling the pressure at this point, even out of the gate. There is a moment of if you take the first match, I know from my own experience, there's a level of comfort that you get from it. So drawing that first blood and having to run 2 sets ahead it's a bit rough for sure. So we'll see how things work out. Looks like Intu's trying to find his way through as best as he can. Not really a lot of direction as to where to go. And Spekio on his side, I'm sure Gibberish is not very happy about the lack of backdrop on this level, but trying to find his way around with that backrat.
And it looks like we have Spekio just getting his first clear there. Keep an eye on that map to see how far he's gone.
Indeed, 1-1, and also Into taking the skip on his side, going to the more straightforward platforming level that I believe Spekio did end up skipping, so we'll see if he sticks with it. That's a lot of fire on Spekio's side for sure, but looks like he's doing a pretty good job with that ripcord, working his way through.
You know, I have to wonder what Intuition's time markers are, because a lot of players look up and they'll look and see who's got the world record and kind of make a guess of how close they can get to that. But, you know, he's probably looking at a lot of his own time, his own records.
Also shows his familiarity as well, and if he does not see his name up there, he can think, hey, I may be able to improve that. Spekio, however, taking the lead 2-1, grabbing that second clear. Well done.
Yeah, we're heading into the 10-minute mark here, so you know, both contestants have a lot of time to get some clears in, and it looks like Intuition's going to see if he can do what Spekio couldn't.
Now that dense fog is definitely going to be hurting. It's something where you're trying to go as quick as possible, and you can see that you have this big wall in front of you that you have to work your way through. And then taking a death, unfortunately, that will prompt the skip, and that's a good decision by Into on that point. And I stand corrected, I do see a little bit of backdrop here, so I apologize. Spekio on his side has got an interesting bit. He's got Blockfish and Spike Chainers kind of keeping him contained there, swoop-a-doops the whole way through. This is going to be a bit rough, however, taking a death that may be punishing. Will he skip or will he keep going is the question.
Yeah, that looks like a very frustrating section when you're under the pressure like they are right now. I don't know how they keep focus on all those Blockfish and swoop-a-doops and Spike Chainers flying around like that.
Agreed. Unfortunately, he's taking additional deaths here. He has to be feeling that pressure right now. That time is ticking away. He's trying to find a way around. Unfortunately, it does not look to be any cheese. Everything is pretty self-contained. He's done a good job as far as sussing things out. That's what I refer to as a bit of recon work. He's found the goal, and he sees there's no way to actually get to it. So he has to do this the intended path, unfortunately. Into on his side, just trying to find his way through as well. I know I've said that a bunch today. But he's making progress. He has the package. He sees the end in sight. He's going to be knocking at the door of that 2-2 tie-up.
And looks like Spekio takes the skip there. I was just going to say, I wonder how comfortable he feels at those brawler-type invasion levels. I guess we know now.
Exactly. Into grabbing his second clear, tying it up 2-2. Spekio going to more of a puzzle level and deciding, I don't really feel like doing this, and taking the skip. Spekio actually reaching the end of his first playlist now after doing all of those skips at this point. Into on this side, making his way into that ripcord level, and we'll see what he can do with that as well. On Spekio's side, we got ourselves some rain, a couple of switches. Looks like some more puzzle action we're here working with. He sees the package. And that by itself, whenever you're doing these blind playlist levels like this, finding the packages is just one piece of the puzzle in and of itself. Once you have that, you get a level of confidence that, okay, all I have to do now is find the ending, but that could be anywhere, especially in levels like this. We'll see.
Well, yeah, that could be anywhere. He's got 10 switches there. He's got to figure out. That could be another. That could easily be a few minutes of testing, testing what each one does.
So that also kind of leads us into a discussion about player strategy here. Like you were commenting about before, you don't know what Intu's time is for breaking, where people will usually look on a level, what is the world record time? Puzzle levels are very hard to kind of like suss that out, because the one who has the shoe time for that already knows the solution. So it could take a very long time if you don't know the level yet to actually learn it yourself, and that can be kind of difficult. But Spekio working his way through, and Intu taking the lead with that third clear on the Ripcore level. Well done, sir. 3-2.
And it looks like Intuition's getting near the end. Well, he's got 3 more levels on his list there, but he's definitely been chewing him out a little bit longer. As you see, Spekio is just finishing up his first list there and heading on to the second one.
That's correct, and that is confirmed. A confirmed 2 points for Spekio, moving on to his second playlist. And we have just about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, so we are more than halfway done here, guys.
It looks like Intuition's doing the same thing Spekio does, and just hunting for that cheese. This level is just asking you to try and go around. But as you saw earlier, the creator looks like it says Sox Fox sealed it up quite well.
They did a very good job overall, and there's a lot that this level asks of you from what it looks like. And Intu trying to find a way to thread the needle between those spike chainers, but it looks like the hitboxes are going to be pushing themselves together to the point where you can't do it. I think he's actually hoping to do a damage boost to make it through. Look at this! What a strategy! Finding his way down, that is a beautifully executed clear. He found the cheese using the game's own mechanics to his advantage. Well done, extending his lead just a bit further.
Yeah, I think that's his speedrunning nose coming to work there. That was a really great sniff of what kind of cheese he could make happen.
Fantastic. Truly a connoisseur of cheese, and one we can all learn something from. That was expertly executed, and something that I think will be a pivotal moment possibly in this match as the time continues to tick away. On Spekio's side, he has the rebound power-up, also known as the face blaster, as it was beforehand. Fighting with his Lazumi, trying to work his way through and getting himself a clear. Well done. First clear in that second playlist for him. Bring him up to 3.
Yeah, that puts us at 4 for Intuition and 3 for Spekio, and as you said, just under 5 minutes on the clock.
It's going to be a tight match to the finish, I believe. Again, I really do think that him getting that clear on that level, finding a way to damage boost through those spike chainers will prove absolutely paramount here. So we'll see if Spekio can find himself some nice levels here in the second playlist to play nice with.
Yeah,
otherwise, looks like... Go ahead, sir.
If you look on the level that Spekio's on right now, Intuition has the time with 21 seconds. So if Intuition can get there, that's could be an easy clear for him.
And right you are. And also, look at these switch placements. This is definitely very difficult to actually work with that. And it looks like Intu's not going to deal with it. And we have the confirmed 4 for Intu on that side for his first playlist.
I've got to say, these are some pretty challenging playlists. Both of these contestants had put out quite large numbers, double digits in other rounds. So seeing them at 4 and 3 as we head into the last third is a pretty telling of the challenge of these levels.
Indeed, this is definitely a rough playlist to start the day. And again, this kind of goes into the whole mental state of this competition, that if you're feeling that you're skipping too much, it can be difficult. You don't feel like you're succeeding. Again, you don't know how good the other person is doing at this point. Right now, Spekio has to be feeling the pressure, only having 3 clears or so on his side. Even Intu, I mean, this is definitely not up to his standards by any means right now. He's got to be feeling the pressure on both ends.
Yeah, Intu's standard so far is double digits, so only having 4 and feeling like he's gone through a whole playlist is, yeah, you're right. That's got to be chewing at him.
Yeah, well, let's take that 4 and let's make it 5, into extending his lead a little bit further here. So congratulations on wrapping that one up. Let's see if he finds some familiar ground for him as well.
And it looks like Spekio's heading into our first Esperator level of the day. We'll expect to see a few more of those. Pretty fair looking, and it looks like he might know some cheese right off the bat.
He's definitely looking for something to find there. Usually Esperator levels I'm actually a big fan of, because the difficulty is very well paced, well challenged even for the most part. So those are something that they can be kind of involved, but overall I think the things should be pretty decent here as well. We have less than 3 minutes to go here, folks. We'll see what happens, but Spekio's gonna have to turn on the heat and find himself some good clears, and Intu is showing no signs here of stopping.
Yeah, I think Spekio has a good chance of getting a clear on the Esperator level. If you look at the record time for an Esperator level, it's usually not significantly shorter than the actual first clear time.
This is very true. Usually things are pretty well sealed up on those sides. Again, it's usually very well designed, put together, clear as to where to go. A lot of good design elements here. So as opposed to some of the more, as I refer to, obtuse levels that we find ourselves sometimes finding these playlists, it can feel good that you have that feeling of progress, that you have a consistent, even way of doing so. And Spekio showing he's not having a single problem, is not afraid a little bit of cave time. And speaking of time, we got 1:45 left on the clock here, folks. And it is a close match, a 5-4 lead for Into. Again, I'm harkening back to that damage boost, kind of a big play.
And I'm wondering if Spekio is going to be this week's Retrofile and sneaking in the tying up match in the last minute.
Oh boy. Yes. That wound is still fresh, my friend, but otherwise, again, we see he's tying it up 5-5, just as you had predicted. We're getting close here, folks. Anybody's race. And this is a great match to start the day, a great one to start the set. I can't imagine this is going to be something that both runners are going to be happy about as far as their performance goes. But once they find out the scores and they know the struggle is the same on both sides, it'll be interesting. Right now, Into trying to find his way up past that, trying to do a sprinting super jump to extend his jump reach, and however, throws the package down to make that extra push. He's spending a lot of time on this with the time ticking down. I'm curious to know if he knows how much time he has left. Is it worth it to push his way through, or will Spekio somehow grab a clear and take the victory out of the gate here? We'll have to see. Well, we're at 30 seconds right now on the clock, so it can go either way. We'll see here, guys.
Yeah, I think we can only see that kind of play from Intuition, trying to make some very spectacular super ceiling jump combinations there. But he might have spent a little too long trying to make that happen.
Fortunately so. We're getting down here into the final seconds, guys. I know Into is doing that one for the fans. Spekio looking for a low clear, and it looks like time is up. We are going to a tiebreaker.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, Judge, our referee, Judge Judge, has picked out a special map. I believe it's one challenging more difficulty. What's about challenge? Is it hard?
The four, let's see, challenge. I'm not sure what the 4 is actually referred to as. 5 is ludicrous. We know that. But 4, I'm not so sure about.
Well, he grabs one level, custom picked. He usually tries to pick one that's straightforward, but we had to give him a hard time last week. He chose a bit with a little more dense, and they get 5 minutes to clear it. First to clear gets the set.
Indeed. So this is exciting. Out of the gate, I'm sure both of them are not expecting this tie to have happened, and we have the confirmed clears, it looks like. So,
Yeah,
this is not the first tie for those that were not tuning in from for last time around. But again, guys, this is going to go to the draw match. Again, 5 minutes, as PK has said, a single map, no skips. Just got to work your way through. Whoever is the first to complete that will take this initial set, and we'll get a very nice boost in confidence going into the second one.
yeah, because as you said, at that point you're on the defense, and you just got to hold off the opponent from getting past, and you get 2 chances to do so. So that's definitely got to feel pretty good on the nerves.
And we have confirmation in chat. That's exactly what it is. So 3 diamonds is challenging, 4 is intense, and then 5 is ludicrous. So thank you so much for that one.
So Judge Jad just getting the contestants set up with the next level here.
All right. Well, in the meantime here, let's do a bit of a recap while we're waiting for this draw to be put together. PK, how do you think that match went overall? I think both players right now are going to be feeling pretty shaky and rough after getting some 2 very tough playlists to work their way through. What do you think?
Oh yeah, they've got to be feeling put off by that a little bit. They're both below half of some of their previous best clear rates. Um, they're both very good, very skilled and talented players. And 5 clears is pretty low by the standards we've seen so far. You'd expect 7, 8. And you saw what lots of puzzles in there, a few obtuse kind of levels, ones that required you to figure things out. Definitely not a lot of levels that let you just blitz through and get in a groove.
That is for sure. So, one thing that I will comment about and said that that damage boost clear that Into did, I was actually expecting that to sway that in his favor for the victory. However, that kept him alive. If he did not get that clear, Spekio would have taken this initial set.
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunate actually that he showed some real good instinct on that one, but I think his speedrunner instinct might have hurt him a little bit on that last map he was trying to work with, where he spent quite a bit of time trying to do a wall slash ceiling super jump to get out of that pit.
Completely agreed, and it's something that, as a fellow speedrunner as well, it's just something we are wired to just throw attempts at something, and if we can see something that looks within reach, we're going to go for it as best we possibly can. Unfortunately, that was to Intuition's downfall potentially by wasting the time there that he did. But it's high risk, high reward. If you find something that works out really well and you can get that clear pretty quickly, as opposed to going through the intended path, it can pay off. So I don't blame him for doing that. But now, obviously, we are the ones that we have. We could see what Spekio was up to at that point. You have to think what the mental state was at that moment. Kind of finding a clear with time ticking away as best as possible. Has to be wondering, hey, is 5 clears enough? And I have to imagine he didn't feel comfortable with it, and also is probably very relieved and surprised that this is a tie going into this for both players. So this is going to be nerves are going to be running very high right out of the gate, and definitely that going to be feeling that adrenaline here for that 5-minute crush we're going to have here at the end of the match.
Yeah, and it looks like our contestants have the level lined up, so we should be starting on this one any second here. Um, but yeah, as you said, this is an important one to take. I'm curious to see if what kind of level we have in store for us here. I'm probably going to be something with some good flow.
Well, fingers crossed. We will see what's going to come out of the woodwork here. Everybody is getting ready up, so we're going to be ready for the countdown here shortly, guys. Hang tight. This should be an exciting one. Place your bets in chat into Spekio. Who will take the first set of the day? Let's get ready, guys.
And we'll also find out if Jad is feeling trolly. Maybe he threw a puzzle level in here.
Oh my gosh, that would be so painful out of the gate here. I mean, at this point, it's going to be crazy. 3, 2, 1, go. We are away with the first tiebreaker of the day. Let's see what we got here, guys. So I believe I've seen this level before. It's pretty straightforward what the gimmick is. You can see that you can kind of use dense fog to hold down switches temporarily. And it's going to be Into and Spekio getting pretty close. They're both at the same bits. Actually, Spekio pulling ahead slightly. And Into trying to find his way as well.
Oh, I'm seeing a question mark on the bottom left with Spekio there. There's a tiny bit of a puzzle element in this one, I think.
But it looks like he has no problem finding that solution. However, getting crushed by the doors, our poor GR18 turned into a crushed tin can. And Into, however, finding his way past that point. Both players neck and neck going up the side of the mountain. They're going to be getting close to the clear. At the photo finish. What a... Unbelievable.
That's quite the finish there. On my screen here, I saw Spekio with the moment more, but I think we're going to have to just get a quick double check on that one. Wow. Because as you can see, the time on Intuitions is a bit lower, but I don't know if he had a death off the bat.
That's the hard part to tell. I didn't see that out of the gate here. It was very close as far as the streams go. I mean, it cannot be entirely synced from what it looks like. Spekio, I think, has started a wee bit sooner than Into. Even when watching the feeds from their sides here, it was extremely close. So this is going to have to go to the judges.
I think this is the first time we've had something this close from both streamers. I mean, we had yours last week where it was you and the timer, and that's a pretty easy one to confirm on. This is a little bit different. Might have to just take a moment to figure this one out. Judge Jed is probably trying to see what he can do here.
Well, the refs right now, they are congregating, commiserating, conversating, doing all the things that we can. This is unbelievable. And I don't think any of us could hope for a better set to start the day than this. Absolutely remarkable the whole way through.
Yeah, I'm feeling myself shaking already, and I'm just watching. I can't imagine what these guys feel like.
I can tell you the moment that you come back after doing a set and find out you're tie, and then you have to do one more map together, is it's a whole other bundle of nerves at that point. Your hands begin to start quivering about it, and now the fact that we're down to the wire again. And this is just for the first set. They have to go to another one after this, and possibly a third if it runs back again. And this is this is what we came here, folks. We knew this would be a great match. Spekio definitely putting up a wonderful fight. Into hanging in there as well. We'll wait and see what the judges have to say. Otherwise, guys, definitely keep it here. It's gonna be very exciting for sure.
Yeah, imagine all this adrenaline today, and then they got to show up again tomorrow. That means you got to try and get a good sleep tonight.
And I can only speak for myself here, but definitely after a match is done, the first thing I actually want to do is go back and watch the VOD and actually see, how did my competitor do? How did things go? What did the commentators say? So it's you have to imagine they're going to go back and they're going to quote unquote watch the film to see, could I've done something different? Could I've done things better? What did that
Well,
end up looking like? That thing.
in this case, Specchio's going to go back and look like he should have made a frame of a jump sooner, and that's going to be, oh, that might be it. It looks like we have our confirmation on this one.
Well, it looks like they may have reached a decorum. However, at this point, we're going to confirm, and we will wait for the word from Jaj to verify. And that being said, guys, a big shout out and big thank you to Jaj DP. Again, it's on twitch.tv/ultimate is RDY. Go ahead and check him out as well. A big thanks to him for putting this all together, and also the rest of the administration that has helped out with this entire process. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes here. PK, I know you're pulling some switches too, as well as commentating. So thank you very much for all the work that you're doing today as well.
Thanks, Retro. Yeah, I get to be a bit of a DJ, or what's that? VC video. Oh, VJ, video jockey. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Judge has confirmed that final one goes to Intuition.
Congratulations to Into for pulling that one out. Truly a nail biter to start the day. And I know he's going to be feeling pretty good about that one, but this is definitely a rough one. Spekio right now has to run it back and take 2 sets to Intu's 1. But clearly he's showing this is a very excellent matchup all the way through. That is a hard-fought win out of the gate. Intuition, well deserved, and just showing the prowess overall. But these guys are truly matched. Both are doing a great job here either way. So definitely don't take it just from seeing Into taking the lead here. Spekio fought tooth and nail the whole way through till the end. And that was just the first set, guys. We have a whole other set, another 20 levels coming right at you here momentarily.
Yeah, definitely feeling the jitters on this one. And as you said, these are two evenly matched opponents. I'm interested to see if their strategy will change going into this second one after having such a wild playlist to start it off.
Agreed. And they were both very skip heavy. I mean, both started dipping into the second playlist quite a bit. And that's something that sometimes you don't actually end up getting into in the first place. And just basically at this point, there was still a lot of panic moments, looking at the time, seeing some obtuse level design, puzzles being thrown at them. I don't fault them for any of the skips that they made. A lot of them could be understandable at that point, but yeah, you have to imagine that nerves are running pretty high, and that they're hoping for at least an easier playlist from the B Scotch gods out of the tower. Again, guys, these are all randomly picked. If you wanted to try this out yourself, go into the tower and select challenge difficulty as the filter, and go ahead and just hit a random playlist and try to run yourself through in 15 minutes as many as you possibly can. You can see this is definitely difficult.
Yeah, and if you actually, on the same note of that, if you ever want to get your level to show up on here, you got to get yourself a uh, challenge difficulty level out there on the. Oh, I guess it doesn't have to be on the slower side, but gotta say, getting that balance when you're building a level is tough. But that's how you can see your name up here, and make sure it's doable from the start and not 10 minutes. Otherwise, it will get skipped.
That's for sure. It looks like we are reading up here at this point. So we're going to be moving on here to the next set.
So taking a quick scan across there. Um, You know, I see a few names I recognize, a few I don't. Always exciting when I see names I don't, because you just never know what's gonna happen.
And we're getting the countdown here, and the green flag drops. Away we go into the second set. Into trying to put this one away. Spekio trying to run it back. And we'll see what we have here, guys. Good luck to both runners.
And yeah, you can see this level, nice big open level. This one actually might be a good opportunity for them to get in a groove. It looks like a very straightforward type, keeping your speed level.
I'm sure both players are very excited to see this out of the gate rather than being thrown into a puzzle or something. This is basically basic platforming, and Into finding his groove as well as Spekio, both fighting this flip, trying to push him forward. Spekio getting the tongue, Into making his way through. But I will tell you that these flips, they can charge pretty decently if you give them the chance to. And
Yeah.
Into is the first one to find his way through.
Gauging that distance is really tough, and I've actually got to admit, for both these players, they did a really good job of just keeping out a distance on that.
Happily agreed. And Into drawing first blood in the second set in a very good amount of time. Getting that clear right out of the gate is definitely going to be nice for him. Spekio getting absolutely bullied by this flip whip. I think he's going to go back with a vengeance here very shortly.
Yeah, so last week, it was a second. This is the time when Intuition turned on his fire, and it looks like he's getting the kind of levels that he can get momentum happening on. I'm expecting to see a really good performance from Intuition this set.
We will see if he has that second set stride once again. And Spekio getting his first clear, tied up 1-1. Intuition on his side with the tiptoe. And then also grabbing the waylay, and there we go. He gets his second clear. So 2 quick clears right out of the gate here. This is definitely going to be good for the confidence. It looks like this playlist is already much nicer than what we were dealing with before. But again, that can change at any moment.
Intuition off to an interesting level here by Alex RD, where the creator has the best time, and it's a minute 20, so that can be a sign it could take a while to get through.
And Spekio grabbing his second clear as well, 2-2, but deciding to skip and not go with this level. Not sure if he has any prior knowledge or simply looked at the time at the top, but he's in new territory and Into quickly falling behind. So now both players on the same level at this point. See what they can find. We have some hidden hazards inside of the enclosure there on the wall, hence why they're touching the wall and dying. That can be a bit rough. That might be I know that's a big turnoff for Spekio when he finds stuff like that. I'm actually surprised that didn't prompt him to quit, but I think he wants to see more of the level to be sure first.
Yeah, I mean, as a general playthrough, that can be a bit of a turnoff, but imagine something like this. That's going to be a sign that later sections could be really tough to get through quickly.
Now, one thing about it, you're teaching the player right out of the gate there that you can't trust anything in the level. That stuff that should look safe to rub up against, you can't. And unsurprisingly here, Spekio taking the skip on that, and maybe to his benefit, and then taking another rapid skip right after that as well. This is again looking to be shaping up to be a pretty skip-heavy moment, even after the initial 2 clears that we had at the beginning of the list.
Now, you've been player on this one. If you see a 2-minute time that you know is actually quite easy to get, is that a skip for you, or is that something you want to stay in on?
Usually the kind of the bar that I go for, as far as my pacing, what I'm comfortable with, is if I can clear a level in 1:30, that's a good pace for me. So if I see 2 minutes or more on a level, that would usually prompt a skip for me, because if it took them 2 minutes, it's going to likely take me 4 at that point. So usually the sweet spot is if I find a clear time at about 45 to 50 seconds, I feel confident enough that I can probably get that in 1:30 if checkpoints are ample and things seem pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and I imagine Spekio's probably got a similar barometer as you do there. I don't know what Intuition's barometer is on that, but...
Now Into falling down, grabbing himself the lead and the clear, going up 3-2 in the second set. And Spekio, no slouch, falling right behind, tying it back up 3-3.
Yeah, it looks like we're heading into another nail biter here as we close in on 10 minutes.
So we are a third of the way done with this set here, and it looks like there's plenty of lock switches for Into to enjoy himself with here. And Spekio looking for what he can find, doing a bit of recon work, but however not finding much to work with. And looks like Intu's going to opt for the skip on his end. And PK looks like the dream and the nightmare. I love this level, by the way. You want to talk a little bit about this one since this is yours?
Yeah, sure. I'm surprised, first of all, that there's not a skip on this one. It's 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and Waddles knew exactly what he was doing. This level requires you to stand still. Hopefully Intuition's not. I hope he's played this one and tried it out. Otherwise, he's burning up a lot of time right now.
Yep, looks like he's going to be walking away from that one. But I will shout that one out, guys. Definitely, if you have not played that one yourself casually, definitely do so. It's a beautiful gimmick. It tells a wonderful story of kind of shifting between past and present. It's a wonderful mechanic. I loved it when I played it. So definitely go check that out, guys. Anyway, back to the match. Spekio on his side, having some difficulty with all of these hazards, a bunch of whiz blades, Into also getting bullied on his side as well. Both of them at this point trying to find their way, and Spekio does, taking the lead. 4-3.
Yeah, I think Spekio's doing a great job of managing his skips on this one. He's, I believe he's chosen quite wisely so far on where to stay and where to just get out.
And that is part of the strategy overall. I mean, if you can skip early and find those more positive clears, again, you're going to help yourself in the mental state of the competition. You're going to keep yourself moving forward, and that's the best thing that you can do at this point. Into as well, doing the best that he can, and he finds the goal but does not have the package in tow. Delivery is going to be delayed, and he's skipping that level.
Oh no, that's got to feel rough when you're holding on to a box, but it's not the one you have to deliver.
Unfortunately, it was the wrong package. It's delayed in transit, got held up in the shipping depot. You know, it's something we're going to have to find out. And Into doing a very similar strategy to what Spekio was doing that recon work, looking for something he can find as far as where the package may be or another way to get in. But he's got all the information right out of the gate. He just has to survive as best as he can. And Spekio making some good progress, finding the package on his side. Now all he needs, the goal, is to extend his lead. And quickly getting it. Spekio having a great showing here in the second set. Those skips very much have paid off, it seems, and he's reaching the end of his first playlist with about 8 minutes here to go.
Forgive me on that one. Did Spekio get the clear on that last set?
Spekio did. He's extended his lead now to 5-3.
As we head down, 7 minutes and 40 seconds left.
So this is about the halfway mark here. Spekio doing a great job, up by 2. Now, he may not think he's doing well, but he's doing a really good job at this point. And Into trying to get through this Whizblade cavern as best as he possibly can, and see what he can find.
Yeah, Spekio's on a level with one of from our later contestants, and I think it's one of those ones, if you know what you do, it's super easy, but it might take you a little bit to figure out the exact technique you need.
Yep, that's for sure. And Spekio gets himself the confirmed five clears, moving on to his second playlist. Into, in this level, you got to work your way in and work your way back out. And unfortunately, I'm wondering how much time this will actually take him with all of the whiz blades, even with the ample checkpoints to draw you in. I have to imagine he's going to see this one to the end.
It looks like he's doing just that, navigating those spike whiz blades quite elegantly.
And closing the gap, moving up to 5-4. And time continues to tick away. He's got 2 left on his first playlist. We will see what happens.
I'm trying to figure out what's happening on Spekio's level there. It looks like some sort of rift shenanigans.
Got some fun little things going on here with the tiptoe. I have to imagine he's going to want to possibly skip this one here. Seems like he's burning a lot of time, but maybe he feels confident about it.
And there you can see what you talked about earlier, Intuition, just holding on to that run speed as he navigates those Spikeatrons and narrow caverns. He really just, he's got that built into him.
That he does as well. And again, I do mention this. And by the way, look at this. Into tying it up 5-5. Well done. Looking really good. I do mention this, though, that Spekio, being the top creator, knows all the tricks there is to be at this point. So you have to imagine that experience from the building side can help him out. And answering back very quickly, grabbing himself his 6th clear of this set.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's probably got a great handle on those item mechanic type of tricks. So there shouldn't be a lot for him to discover on that point. That being said, Intuition is no slouch by any means when it comes to something fancy.
You are. We're at 5 minutes and 20 seconds or so. Time is continuing to tick away. We're almost 66% into this set. And it's been a nail biter as well. I imagine this one's probably going to go down to the wire just like the first one. However, Spekio needs to pull this one out to take this to game 3.
Yeah, and it looks like Spekio's got himself a little stroke of luck. He's running through his own level and using that creator advantage.
And that can happen, folks. I mean, you've made so many levels like that, and you make it with good difficulty. That can happen. Now, Into on this side, spending a lot of time, but finding his way and tying it back up. I believe that was an Edie feed level. Yes, indeed. And a little fun one about that, if you go to the right, you can get a can of slurp juice to work with, and he refers to it as wuss juice and spells it out. But we ties it up 6-6. But Spekio answering back very quickly, 7-6 to Spekio's favor. Well done. When one gets one, the other one comes right back.
Yeah, they're just trading punches here as Intuition heads into this tiptoe challenge. He's got some great handling with the tiptoe, so I'm pretty excited to see how he gets through this one.
And I've got to say here, you saying trading punches, this is like two heavyweights going at it, just in one big giant slugfest as best as they can. They're going to be taking it down to the bell, but Spekio has that slight edge at this point. We'll see if Into can find his way through as well on his side. We know he's getting down toward the ball. Look at this. Look at the strat.
Did you see that slide? He just went down that like he was on the kids' playground.
Yeah, just throwing it down, just making it as effortless as possible, and just doing a wonderful job. I'm sorry that I was a little behind there. I was looking at the DLC chat and just got caught up in the hype. But 7-7, this is gonna be really exciting here. And looks like Spekio taking the skip on that one.
Now, interesting, we talked that Spekio had the advantage on that level that he built himself, but it's Intuition who holds the world record.
That's going to be an interesting little subset. You as the creator versus the one that actually has the record in tandem. And Spekio, Into has to be feeling pretty good about this and is going to push his way through as best as he can with this time ticking away. And it's going to go very quickly, but he's doing a great job.
You gave him the curse.
It's, you know what, guilty as charged. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
And it looks like Spekio's navigating through Whizblade Tunnel very elegantly and trying to find where he has to go, though.
Well, in the meantime here, Into grabbed a clear on that one. I believe that puts him now in the lead and breaks this tie.
Yeah, Spekio's got to get a couple jabs in here. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting in the corner for a long time.
I'm digging the pugilism metaphors you're adding to this. It's quite nice, and this definitely is a slugfest to the end as best as possible. This very well may be the last round. Into looking for the knockout, but Spekio fighting as best as he can, hoping that Into will punch himself out in the process.
The level they're jumping through right now by, I believe it's Dark Brick, is pretty interesting. It seems like it has some breathable moments, but then really puts the intensity on in some very dense tunnel sections with enemies and whiz blades. It's definitely going to be a battle of quick navigation.
Now Into opting for the skip. However, Spekio grabbing the clear right back. Now look at this, though. This is a very quick clear on Intu's side. If he gets it, all he needs is a simple sprint jump and grabs it as well. Just slugfest back and forth, both on the same level. Can Spekio answer right back? We've got 1:30 left on the clock, folks.
Yeah, I'm curious how comfortable Spekio is with that running sprint jump. Running super jump. Because that really could be the difference between this match.
And we know how confident that Into is with that advanced tech. However, Spekio doing a great job tying it back up. Again, neck and neck. This is going to be... the heart rate has to be increasing, and I feel it here on my side. I'm just getting excited just watching this match, trying to find the way. This is awesome.
Yeah, these two contestants are got to get their final punches in to impress the judges.
It's going to be going down to the decision. We have less than a minute to go, guys. Tied up. Just trying to find a way. Spekio on a different level, Into working his way through, fighting those Lazumis. Who will find a clear, or will it go to yet another tiebreaker today?
Yeah, I have to admit, Spekio's navigating this Whizblade level from Sleepy quite well. It's actually quite challenging because the timing between the platform what you're allowed to jump is pretty narrow. and he's making it look pretty effortless.
And on Mintu's side, he's fighting Zlazumi here with the Waylay, but Spekio gets the clear, and Into taking the skip. No, he decides not to. You can see the mental anguish. He's got to decide, and that's time, folks. We're so low on time. I think Spekio may have done it, getting the double digits. Yeah, unbelievable. The man had to answer back. He had to come back to stay alive and keep his tournament dreams alive, and he did just that.
Yeah, and we were talking about that boxing metaphor, and it looks like we actually have some boxing-looking scores up there with a 10-9 in Spekio's favor.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, that was more of the kind of numbers I was expecting to see from both of these contestants, hitting the double digits and just shy on intuition side. We definitely saw a much less puzzle-oriented set of levels, allowing them to really use their technique skills and their consistency skills and just go.
So I have to say that I have to say that out of that entire matchup, I think the play of the match, even though Into lost that set, his little package skip down the slide at the end of that one level was so beautiful and graceful and effortless. I just didn't even know it was possible. I would have taken that far more conservatively, and just him being so brazen about it was beautifully done.
That was absolutely stellar. I'm pretty sure I can do that if you gave me 3 hours, let alone 15 minutes.
We have a good one in chat here. Builder versus breaker. The breaker of levels versus the builder of levels. The top runner versus the top creator. And Spekio answering back here. We're going to confirm that set, but it looks like it's going to be 1-1 here, guys. And it came down to the wire again. This is going to be a nail biter of a third set. I would not be surprised if this goes to a tie. And for the record, that shows exactly how well and how skilled and how versed Spekio is. Against that he's matching up against Into, and they both had a pretty decent chunk of clears this time around.
Yeah, I think you're right. This third one is going to be intense, and I'm secretly hoping we get another 9-9, 10-10 right down to the wire. Go into that bonus round. It's pretty interesting, though. I feel like they cleared quite a different set of levels there as well. It wasn't a lot of shared clears compared to some other ones where you often see the contestants clearing mostly the same levels and skipping a lot of the same. If you looked at that final layout, you can see it was quite a different set of mismatches there.
Well, it's very true that both runners here definitely have their own set of skills, strengths and weaknesses, and some may opt to skip more than others. There were definitely a few heartbreaking deaths on both sides, but I think both players did a really good job of recovering, and that's why we had such a close match. But the fact that Spekio took a set from Into and almost took the first one as well, by the way, that is no slouch. This is a huge mountain to climb at this point, and now essentially all of that is for naught because we've tied it up. All that matters now is this final set. And at this point, nerves have to be firing on all cylinders. I know they are for me right now. I feel the hype, and it's going to be fantastic. But guess what, guys? Just to throw this out there again, stay tuned. Stick around. We have another match happening right after this. It's going to be a tough act to follow, but I expect great things. It's going to be Edie Feed versus Column W. That will be a treat for all of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, and on that same note, book off your calendar tomorrow because we'll be heading into the finals and the bronze match. A little bit later start time, but we'll be here again.
How about that? So, just to throw that out there again, these guys right now are in the semifinal matches. Spekio versus Intuition. Whoever takes this win of this set that we're coming up to here at this point, they will be going to grand finals, and they will be vying for that championship of DLC 2. This is the second one we have out there. And again, guys, I'll plug this now while we have a chance. If you want to join in on the DLC community as it is growing and expanding, make sure to join that Discord. Check the info tab, tap on the Discord button, join in, say hello. You yourself could be running here on the big stage with the rest of us. If you want to join in, all skill levels are indeed welcome. Just have to be able to stream your gameplay, and you can play whatever you want at this point, and you can join in. hoping to see this continue to expand and grow. It's been a wonderful time for all of us. And right now, it looks like both players are currently validating their playlists with Jazz assisting. So we have to be getting underway here very shortly.
Yeah, just taking a quick look at these two contestants. Some interesting information for them here. Spekio has 1,321 levels played. Meanwhile, Intuition has 2,364 levels. He's got almost 1,000 levels over on Spekio. And I know he's ground some of those out for hours on end, too. So I think Intuition definitely has the playtime advantage on this one.
Absolutely. I mean, Spekio spent a lot of time in the workshop. I mean, and Intuition's been spending a lot of time putting up wonderful videos of his marvelous clears and finding his way on that side. But as we can see, there's no difference in skill. They're evenly matched going into this, and the great equalizer are these random playlists and being able to decide. Spekio's been a little more heavy-handed with the skipping than Into, and Intu's been more adopting that speedrunner mindset. Like I said, he's been just throwing attempts at things as best as he can, and maybe holding on to things just a little bit more. We have to wonder if you could have taken that set if you had skipped things a little bit sooner. But again, 10-9, it's by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. And here we go with the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Green flag drops on the final set. Who's going to win it, folks? Let's see it in chat. And here we go.
Well, it looks like they're starting off with, it might be a puzzler. I'm actually having a little hard time telling. Oh, it says puzzle in the title. That should have been the clue.
I have to comment a little bit that Into, the man who loves his springs so much, decided to try to use a spring as something to activate a switch and realize, oh, wait, I should use this box that's right nearby. But one thing to note here on this single screen, it is really nice to see both the package in the goal right where you are. And that's a good bit of information at that point. Just finding your way to get there, though, can be the difficult part. And it looks like both players are going to slog their way through this as best as they can to try to grab that initial clear. So we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, you can see little stalls from each of them as they kind of think it through. Definitely a little different compared to that last set where they were go, go, go.
And again, like I said, the mindset right now, that's the main thing I like focusing on. There is some psychology that's happening here where both of them realize they just 1-1. This is what counts. All the marbles here, and they've both kind of figured things out, but it looks like Spekio just does not want to go any further with it. Into, however, trying to find his way through on that side, but also skipping, so we're even here. No clears going into the same level.
Yeah, it looks like he had some idea, tried it, and just said, nope, I'm not working.
I think that was a good decision on both sides because we don't know how much time it would actually take to get the right solution on that. Even though the parts were there, it was only a simple switch in a box to get down to get the package and work his way back up. He'd probably have to redo that entire solution. Fear the Flingo Fort, I played this one myself, and this section on the right side that they're going to be working their way up is a bit annoying as well. But the flapjack part here is really rough. You actually have to get a bounce off that big flapjack to get to the top, to get those other smaller ones to clear them out, because you have to get the switches above there. So unfortunately, both these players have to figure it out. Spekio continuing on into opting to skip.
Yeah, I think we actually saw this level in a previous DLC matchup, and it definitely was a time burner, because that's, as you said, that section is a little harder than everything else that they've seen so far in that level.
It seems very easy. Just, it's bounces that you've done before, nothing crazy offhand. But unfortunately, that one can definitely burn some time. This one inside, this is a gem map that requires getting all of the gems, and it looks familiar to me as well. I'm not sure if this came up in a previous DLC or one of our community races that have also happened as well. Big shout out to C Price for his work at Level Cup and running the races there. Edie Feed also made a wonderful stream overlay for that. So a lot of events happening here. But right now, DLC is going on, and both are fishing for their first clear into Smelling Blood because he's getting near the end of this one.
Yeah, you can really see it
right behind.
You can really see Intuition skill with the tiptoe on this level. He's just navigating so flawlessly through so much of it. Although I have to admit, Spekio just flied through that one. I looked the wrong way.
As did I. I actually thought Into was doing a great job, but Spekio drawing first blood in this set, but Into quick behind, 1-1, clearing the same map. We're continuing this on, but Spekio has a slight advantage now.
Ooh, the level that Spekio's heading into here looks like a one you do not want to be dying on, with lots of time gates and blasters.
I have to imagine that possibly if they don't get a checkpoint anytime soon, that the first death, whenever it's going to occur, it's going to prompt a skip at this point, I feel. And now both at the same part with the same contraption with the re-gates, the bumpers. They're trying to do something, make something happen to get that switch on the far end, but we'll see.
Spekio has created a few throw-intensive levels, so I imagine he's got some good practice with contraptions and sort of timing of items being tossed, but this looks a little less intuitive.
However, he does make it, and I believe, yeah, he made Battery Throw Champion, I believe. It's all about special contraptions. And into, quickly behind, the pace here has been pretty even for both players. Again, still in Spekio's favor, making it a bit ahead, but that can change at any moment. And speaking of Spekio, 2-1, taking the lead over Into, who is going to be very close behind as well, as we've just seen.
Yeah, Spekio's thrown out a couple body shots so far, and Intu's only gotten one touch in. So
I love the boxing. The boxing metaphors have returned, and that it's truly with the Waylay. I mean, that's the most pugilistic of all the power-ups that GR18 has in his arsenal. And by the way, on this side, Spekio opting to skip, and Into gets the clear, tying it up 2-2.
Yeah, Spekio's on a level that we've seen a couple times in this DLC format. It's an interesting one, and if you know what's going on, you can burn through it. And I actually think Intuition might be the one who's put on a pretty good show on that level before, so I'm excited to see when he gets there.
Yes, indeed. But in the meantime here, Spekio, again, breaks the tie, 3-2, doing a great job here. And we've got 9 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it looks like Intuition's opting to battle it out with the pop shot. Successfully does. But I can't tell how far the level he's on actually goes for.
Yeah, Spekio opted to skip this one out. It looks like Intu's going to stick with it. Unfortunately, taking a death that I'm sure he's feeling is hurting pretty bad for that one. Just a simple single fire that happened. And Spekio having some fun here with the Ocula and their single eyebrow.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that single eye. It'll hone in on you when you least expect it.
Right, you are, PK.
Yeah, the level that Spekio's working through there looks like he's evading a lot of enemies, and that can be pretty time-consuming if you make... It doesn't look difficult, but it looks like if you make a slip, that's going to be pretty punishing.
Oh, he sees a checkpoint in his grasp here, and that is going to validate the work that he just did. Even with taking a death there at that point, that's where you want to take it, right after the checkpoint. So it shouldn't be too rough. It looks like he has a pretty rough cycle he has to deal with, though, between the Oculus stomping overhead, the Blotpush lazily going back and forth, and Into clearing that level, tying it back up, guys. We have a heck of a match going on.
Yeah, that can't feel good for Spekio. You can see the whistling animation kicking in there. That's an indication of, I believe, 5 seconds passing.
That sounds about right to me, but at this point, those 5 seconds have to feel like an absolute eternity to Spekio. But he wants to ride this one out as best as he can, grabs the package, and finds the end, breaking that tie. Once again, patience is rewarded, truly a virtue that Spekio has learned. But as you've mentioned before, Into should be familiar with this level, and it's not too far away from the clear, grabbing the package, working his way up. We have a tie match. Once again, 4-4.
Yeah, it looks like he was familiar with it, but he tripped 3 or 4 times getting through that one. And with this such a close match, I think every trip is going to be costly.
And I'm not sure if you've seen over here, Spekio having the reign of Vakras, but look at what Into has found. That's a huge skip he just found. Will it pay off, though? Yes, absolutely. Wonderful job, and then Spekio also getting it. My gosh, still keeping his lead.
Forgive me, I might have missed that one. Might have to do a quick time check. I just updated his at the same time you said that, so I'm wondering if we're actually at tie right now.
No, I believe that was in his favor, 6-5. We're gonna have to watch at the end of the playlist counter here. I believe that they were tied going into it, or Into may have tied it back up, and that clear pushed Spekio ahead. I believe we're at 6-5.
All right.
So Spekio not going down without a fight after losing that first set, but running it back. Can he pull the upset, folks? I know that Into was definitely the favorite going into this for a lot of it, but definitely no slouch by any means. And Spekio grabbing that clear here momentarily ago.
Yeah, both the contestants are showing a great clear rate at the moment.
Definitely fast and furious, and it looks like we have a confirmed, what was that, 6?
It was 6.
I saw for Spekio.
Yes, I saw 6 for Spekio as well. So, looks like they're actually tied at 6-6. And actually, might have been Intuition just pulled up here. Let's keep an eye on his clear rate.
Yes. He's entering the last level of the playlist. We'll have to check to confirm, but that looked like that Spekio had 6 on his side, so I may have lost track there. My apologies, guys. Just through all the excitement, we will see.
Oh, looks like Spekio, Intuition's heading into a musical fun level.
And that is a confirmed 7 clears for Into, all in a row, no less. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's got to be good on the momentum feel there for him. We'll see how that carries into playlist number 2.
So that being said, Spekio has to claw his way back up after we verify where the scores were at following those playlists there. Into has the advantage. The one clear that he did end up getting was one that Spekio did end up skipping, unfortunately. And sometimes that can be the detriment. We have 4 minutes, just under 5 minutes to go at this point, guys. Anybody's match.
Now, I gotta admit, this is an adorable little race against the flags.
Indeed.
Looks like Spekio collecting some gems, but hope he knows that those don't count for anything.
I gotta go for the extra credit, but guess what he does collect is this clear, but it looks like Into will be right behind him with that one, so be ready for that. For now, it is a tie ball game, but looks like Into will grab the lead back here momentarily.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping the fire going for another 4 minutes here. I'm expecting this is, once again, going to come down to the last run.
What you are, PK. And with that, we are now at 8-7. Got some tight flingo action here. Some tight little corridors. One tile gaps, definitely not my own personal friend. But creators enjoy doing that, that's for sure.
You can see the difference in their playstyles here as Spekio takes his time to line up those jumps, whereas Intuition is very bold and keeps his momentum going even as he's trying to make a single tile gap.
Will that be his downfall, however, because Spekio just tied this back up here.
And Spekio onto it looks like some sort of hold right level. Oh, never mind.
Into, however, breaking the tie, moving this to 9-8. And we have about 3 minutes and 20 seconds or so left on the clock.
Looks like Spekio's trying to figure out where he's got to go. This is a punishing level for a death.
This is obtuse level design. We have no signs, no arrows, no nothing, no nonsense. It looks like a hold right level, and then your world gets kind of messed up into trying to find some way, and Spekio getting that clear.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but that clear is requiring you have to notice a single tile gap while you're running through that level.
I did not notice, and this is why I don't like single tile gaps. And Into opting to skip, that could be the big play here. My gosh.
Yeah, Spekio's eyes might have kept him in the game. You know, maybe Intuition's playing this out with a black eye. I don't know. I'm pulling that one a lot too far.
I appreciate the analogy, but you know what? The vision has to be blurred. He may be a little punch drunk at this point. We're getting pretty late into the sets. And not much time to go, tying it up. If this goes to a tiebreaker to decide this one, this is unbelievable. Spekio with a beautifully executed sprinting jump. That may help. It looks like he's got some excellent progress in the level because of it.
It looks like
Spekio's trying to find his way through. Ooh, Into taking a very costly death. Unfortunately, with doing that skip, possibly skip some checkpoints in the process.
Yeah, I think that might have actually been the full cost there. That's putting him behind now. Clearly behind.
10-9, and Spekio in the double digits. My gosh, with time ticking away, he can possibly get there. This may go down to the wire.
Spekio entering a level from Ego Mouse, a creator who's created some pretty fun pinball levels. This is one of his earlier ones. It's actually might be a little longer than it seems.
Oh, into taking the death towards the end of that level. Unfortunately, they're now both on the same level. But Spekio has that extra clear under his belt.
Yeah, I'm thinking if both players don't know this level, this is really one that should be skipped. Oh, it looks like Intuition actually might know where he's going on this one.
Oh, they had synchronized death there, guys. We are at sub-minutes at this point. It's anybody's race. Can Intu find his way? Can he do it? He does! We are at a tie, 10-10 set with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, that was an amazing read on where to go on that one and making some great skips. Meanwhile, you can see Spekio stuck in a challenging spot with a bad cycle with some swoopadoops and whiz blades.
Oh my gosh, this truly, again, two heavyweights just going at it as best as they can. This will come down to the buzzer.
Yeah, I hope.
Less than 30 seconds to go.
I hope Judge Jadge has his pencil out and he's keeping track of it.
He's gonna have to. This is for all the marbles, all the packages, the big kahuna. We'll see what happens. Who will get the ticket to the grand final that will be taking place tomorrow?
Controller down, please.
Wow. Oh boy, oh boy.
And that's all she wrote, folks. 10-10 is what we're seeing here. A tie match. We're going to the tiebreaker to decide Intu versus Spekio.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. Spekio pulling up on the lead when that little single tile gap as he saw on that running level. Then Intuition coming back with an amazing performance through the goo hazard, tumble soup hazard recycler. That was, oh man, that was something to see.
You get the confirmation here. Spekio with 4 clears on this playlist and Intu with 3. Now we know how it worked out the other time around. We confirmed Spekio had 6 on the first and Intu had 7 on the first, all in a row. That is a confirmed 10-10 tie, guys. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I hope everyone brought their seatbelts with them. Oh my gosh, we've had 3 amazing sets to start this off. I couldn't have asked for a more intense thing to get my morning started. Coffee is not needed today.
Absolutely, and we see in the chat here Hexadecimal saying this feels like a final, folks. It's not the finals just yet, but just hold on to the edge of your seat here. This is going to a draw. This is going to be a tiebreaker match to take the set. 5 minutes, 1 level for all of it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Judge Jadge pulls out for this final battle. Man, both these players have been running some great times. Last tiebreaker we had there, they finished a photo finish. Having to put their chests out, leaning into that ribbon. I expect to see the same again here.
So we've gone from boxing to Olympics, I'm guessing. Now we're doing relay races or the 100-meter dash. At this point now, I guess the next event we'll move on to is fencing, and we'll see who scores the first point.
Yeah, if you want to go back to boxing, it looks like we're on our road to a double knockout here.
One can only hope, but this has been one heck of a match. Definitely the best way possible. We could have asked to start the final weekend of DLC 2.
Yeah, and yeah, this is just the start. While we're waiting for the setup, a little shout out to a few more people made this happen. Of course, the Butterscotch team. Without all this, amazing game that they provided to us that many of us have played for over a year now. This wouldn't be possible. Shout out to, I'm going to give another shout out to Judge Jadge because he's working hard in the background right now. I'm sure his fingers are flying as he's trying to make everything happen. As well, thanks to all of our contestants that came out. There is some work required getting it going. It's not crazy, but they do have to make sure their stream's working. There's a few things to make sure are happening. We do appreciate you guys putting yourself out on the show. We've got how many people in here today?
Well, we're sitting at about 50 plus viewers at this point, and that is fantastic. The LevelHead community has come out and forced for this one to check this out, and I'm sure that they do not regret their price of admission for this one. Like I've said before, you may have bought the whole seat, but you only need the edge. Spekio versus Intuition, getting themselves set. Again, a big shout out to Jazz for putting this all together. A lot of behind the scenes work you guys are not seeing. Butterscotch Shenanigans for putting out such a wonderful, community driven, developed game that so many things have happened here. Spekio's name was in the patch notes a whole bunch of times. Intu has found things that have broken the game as well. So everyone that you've seen here in some fashion has contributed to the game and its development. So it's been a group effort. It's felt like a family that has been put together. Everyone knows everyone, nothing but support across the way. That being said, Spekio versus Intuition, whoever takes this match, the other person cannot be discounted in any way. This has been one heck of a match the whole way through. It cannot be understated how close all of this has been, how hard fought it has been to get to this point. I cannot believe, cannot only imagine at this point that both of their heart rates have to be going at a crazy amount moving forward at this point, going into this final 5 minutes to take it all. Winner goes on to the grand final. Loser goes to the bronze match tomorrow. So you will be seeing them again, but in which capacity we will see.
Yeah, I hope they get their gloves on, heading to the corners for a little bit of tape up and a wipe down, and they better have everything in order and lined up because a single trip on this could be could be the end. Well, not the end for them, but could be the end of their route to gold and send them off onto the bronze path.
So there's no skips now, no escape, no surrender. So this is what we've got: is 5 minutes to try to make it there, and it all comes down to this. I cannot believe that we are here. I did not expect to be here. I expected a great match. I didn't expect one that legends would be born from. Intuition versus Spekio, the two tops in their own disciplines. I can't believe it. I'm just absolutely speechless.
Yeah, and for those of you who may miss the earlier match or the earlier set, this is the tiebreaker. 5 minutes. First to clear is the goal. If it goes to 5 minutes, then we find a new level.
And right you are, that's for sure. So the first set of this one did go to a photo finish that Intu ended up taking the first set. Spekio running it back in the second set. And now, again, we find ourselves tied here in the third set, going to the draw tiebreaker at this point.
It looks like our judge is ready and just confirming that the contestants and are ready as well.
Get ready, guys. Strap yourself in. We'll see what Jaj has brought us for the final level that these two will be subjected to. It all comes down to this.
It looks like Judge Jadge has brought us some scrub fun. Oh, we're gonna have some throwing, and I expect we'll see some bouncing down the road.
And away we go. Let's see what we've got, guys. Best of luck to both runners as they go through. And it's going to be lots of throwing and lots of running, that's for sure. But all that matters is the first to clear this one. They've got 5 minutes to figure it out.
And it looks like Intuition may have taken an early death there. Not something you want happening. You have to do lots of throwing.
Agreed. Spekio right now has the slight advantage. He's found the goal. He's found the package. It's within view.
We have it.
He's done it, folks. Unbelievable. The Goliath has been toppled. He has fallen. The great Colossus, Intuition, has been sent to the bronze match on Sunday.
And Spekio claws himself up to that gold match. Man, wow, what a show. What a show.
Again.
Yes, this time is truly clear. No reason to go to the tape or the footage on this one. This was a very well done, well done executed thing. Spekio had the lead there. The early deaths definitely hurt Intuition on that one, but that was definitely a fair shake overall. Cannot believe we are here. Congratulations to Spekio for dethroning Intuition and moving him into the bronze match and moving on to the grand final tomorrow. Fantastic job from both runners. Congratulations also to Intuition for putting on one heck of a show the whole way, guys. Fantastic match. I cannot understate how amazing this match was.
Yeah, as you said, a great show by Spekio. Clawing away piece by piece, and Intuition giving us the highlight. I can expect that's going to be the highlight of the day. That slide down that spike with the package, that was insane. Definitely lots to go back and watch on this one.
Yes, indeed. There's a lot to go back to enjoy. I mean, if someone puts together a DLC highlight reel, there's a lot from this one that could be taken from it for sure. And it's I'm electric right now looking at this because it came down to the wire. Both of them could see the package and the goal within reach, but Spekio just had that little extra bit to work with. He had that extra time to get there. Just a couple of just simple missteps in the beginning cost intuition the entire match, unfortunately. But honestly, he still has to be feeling pretty good about that. That was one heck of a match the whole way through. But congratulations to both runners, and especially to Spekio, for moving on to grand finals then tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you know what? I wonder at this point if Intuitions gets a little bit of a sigh of relief. Maybe. I mean, he's got a match tomorrow, but maybe he gets to breathe a little easier tonight. Specchio is gonna have to keep the weight of the gold medal on his mind tomorrow.
Absolutely. Looks like we may possibly be bringing maybe Specchio into the booth just to talk about his victory here. He's got a quick moment, so we'll see if we can get him in here. If otherwise, he has to go, and the hero that we deserve, he has to go off and do something else somewhere else. We'll see. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out here for sure. Keep it locked though here on Delivery Championship. We have another match coming up right after this one, Edie Feed versus Column W. So sit tight. Looks like we're going to be bringing Spekio here in the booth and talking about his victory over Intuition today. What an upset. What a well-played match.
Yeah, just one sec here. Just got to get Specchio able to talk to us. See if you get it. There we go. Specchio should be able to reply now.
Hello,
Yes.
Spekio.
Hey, I am still shaking. That was such a close match. Every single one of them. When we went down to the tiebreaker on both of those, and even the tiebreakers, from what I understand, were seconds apart. So
Milliseconds
Right,
apart. Milliseconds apart.
there were times where I would make like a little mistake on one of those last levels, and I'm just like, no, this is it. Like that last one with the scrubs, I got confused when I threw the scrub over that purge gate, and I was like, after like a couple seconds of that, and I was like, oh man, I just lost, and that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah, I was talking a lot about the mental game during the commentary as well, that both of you had been feeling the pressure on both sides for that. But I gotta say, Specchio, this is unbelievable. And someone said in the chat, this feels like a final. That's what this felt like.
Oh man, I don't even know. Yeah, yeah, I'm still kind of just so nervous from the whole thing. Just yeah, everything was very close, and I mean, my strategy was just I would look at all the levels after they gave them to me, and I would just look through all the times and be like, oh, this is a 2 minute 31, or I look at where all like the short ones are, and I know if I can skip or not, and I was just hoping that maybe if I skipped enough and the right ones that I would manage to make it somehow.
Right, agreed. I mean, actually, that's something that we kind of commented about. That this seemed very skip heavy, pretty much throughout at this point. Actually, a lot more. I mean, whenever you skip, do you feel disheartened about it? Do you feel like was that a good decision, bad decision? Does that kind of like waver your confidence in any way while you're actually in there?
Well, some of them were obvious. Like there was a 2.5 minute one, and like you see some of them, and I'm like, oh, like a shoe stole or like whatever time, and it's like a minute long, and I'm just like, well, if they took a minute optimized, there's no way I'm doing this. Um, so those weren't so bad. The ones that are really bad were the ones that like look okay at first. Like that one puzzle level with the spring in the box, and I was like, oh, maybe I can do this, and I like wasted like a minute on it, and or that one with the spikes, that row of spikes. Just do it. I think it was the name of the level. And you went to the end, and you realize that you don't do it. And then it just is a dead end. And I was lucky. And honestly, that's the only reason I won, because if I hadn't found the secret little exit in that one tile gap hole on the spikes on the way to, to the dead end, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
That was definitely one of the defining and clutch moments. There was another one too in the previous match where Intuition actually on the level with the it was the spike chainer, the block push, like that kind of like auto scroller elevator that was working your way down. He actually found a way to damage boost using the armor through the spike chainer, got that clear, and that's actually what assured him the tiebreaker on that one. You could have had that for all we know too.
Yeah, I was searching for it. You saw me searching for it. I was like, when I should have just done the level normally. I probably could have beaten it in less time. But I remember that one, and I saw the time on it, and I looked on both sides of the level because I thought that maybe I could go on the sides. When that wasn't possible, I was like, there's definitely a damage boost here, and I don't know what it is, and how long is it going to take me to figure this out? And I kind of just gave up on it, and I think that that kind of cost me a lot of time. And those are the ones that hurt, I think.
Indeed, because you have sunk cost. You put in how much time into it that you possibly could get a pretty easy clear on. But I mean, it was the right choice to move on for you as well. Because I mean, you're sitting here as the winner. You made the right decisions. You had all the right moves, and you are now here, moving on to grand finals. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if other people just quit, just skip it. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. You'll be sitting on there. If you can't beat it in the first minute, you probably have you could just clear another level, and the amount of time it takes you to figure out that one, you'll just figure out another one. The chances of you going through all 20 levels is you really have to skip practically everything, and that's why I always like to check the list beforehand because I want to know, if do I have of the last 5 levels 2-minute levels, and do I not have that buffer, or can I just skip to them all their 5-second levels there? Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. You don't know what you're going to get until you actually get there because the space view or interplanetary view does not give you the time, so you can't really plan accordingly just by looking at that.
But you give us
but that being said, Spekio,
you give us the list beforehand.
That is true. I see you guys were validating it. I mean, do you look at the times that are in the list and kind of plan based on that? Do you know?
Yeah, I look at the whole list before every match because it's the only way I can tell, like, where all the long levels are. Like, because if I see a minute or two, it definitely skip. Honestly, I mean, well, I guess we can talk about this in admin after sometime. But I feel like the 2-minute levels are just going to be an automatic skip no matter what we do.
Indeed. I mean, that's we were talking about this before about like the breakpoints and baselines. It seems like whenever there's a shoe time that's like a minute 30 or so, like that's or above, that's usually pretty much a go-to skip, and that's fine. That happens here. But Spekio, I know you're on a bit of a time crunch here. Do you have any final words to talk about your experience? Any words to pass along to Intuition, your competitor and compatriot here today?
No, I just thanks for putting everything on. I know how much work it is behind the scenes to put all this stuff together, and you guys do a lot of work. And so thank you for that. And Intuition, that was a great match, and couldn't hope for a better match there. That was great. I love that it came down to the very end there, and they could have gone either way with any slight changes, any little changes in luck. It could have easily been Intuition taking the win.
Right, you are. Absolutely, guys. Fantastic match the whole way through. Congratulations again, Spekio, pulling the upset. I think we all expected to move on to the grand finals, but you, sir, we will be seeing you tomorrow in the final match against possibly ED or Column W, and we'll see from there, sir. So thank you so much for competing, the work that you put in today. One heck of a match. I cannot understate it for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we're going to go here to a quick break before we get moved over. We have the other match coming right up here. ED Feed versus Column W. Again, winner moves on to face Spekio in the grand finals. Loser will face Intuition in the bronze match. Again, both those matches taking place right here at Delivery Championship tomorrow. But this one's coming up here very shortly. So sit tight, grab yourself a snack, go hydrate. Make sure that pulse comes down after that nail biter of a match. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to go ahead and step away here for just one quick second, and I'll be right back here, guys. But go ahead and enjoy it. We will get started here momentarily.